Uh, Greetings, family. Thank you so very much for your patience. But as I mentioned in last week's interview that we did, this is going to be such an in-depth of a show that I want it to be as clear, as informative, and as useful as possible. What we're going to get from our brother Sena is nothing short of what you will get on an undergraduate degree program. I kid you not. Even with my should we say humorous demeanor and whatnot, there's a lot of seriousness going on, as you will come to find out. So I'd like to introduce us without much further ado to our person of knowledge today on our show. This show is titled Revodution, an introduction to Ewe Vodu. The young brother I'm speaking to is Sena Voncujovi. He will be giving us an introduction of who he is and his origins, if you will, and then we'll begin. So, Sena, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the audience, and then we can get things rolling.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sena Voncujovi. I'm the founder of Revodution, also from African Magic Temple. Revodution is a digital initiative to try and demystify and preserve Ewe Vodu and also educate the world about its wisdom. And this is something that we started about 5 years ago because we realized that the story about our practice was being told by everybody but the practitioner. So we wanted to create an initiative to have the story of practitioners being broadcasted to the world in a way that is dignified and respectful. And so that's why we started Revodution. And now what we do is we provide free daily content on Vodou education, or Vodou education about the philosophy of Vodou, the practice of Vodou. And every Sunday we do a Facebook live session where we're having people from all over the world asking questions to our priests, and asking questions that they've been wanting to ask, but they can't really find. So that is a quick introduction. And I'm also Ghanaian and Japanese, by the way.
Yes, okay. Sena, sadly, first thing I can ask, if you can ask those around you to kindly, basically temper their volume, because I can hear them as you're speaking. So let me just ask the audience, can you all hear Sena clearly? Yeah, Sena clearly, because there was that interruption in the background. You're clear, but there's a slight chop, so if at the very worst, we'll have to switch back to your phone, because this other phone is okay, but there's little breaks. Can everyone hear clearly, please? I can't hear
Sena. If everybody can hear me clearly, please say something.
Yes.
I'm going to be on here for about the next 1.5 hours, 2 hours, talking about...
Yes. Okay, Brother Sena, please, what you do is so sad, but your phone was much better. If I can get someone to just hold it up for us, I know it will affect your Instagram live, but sadly, this other phone is too much of a live. Yeah.
Let me just enter it right now.
Take your time, because as I've promised the family, this has to be what we might call a university level education. I don't want anybody to miss anything. And family, as you're going to see from this young brother's life, what they've dedicated their life to is nothing less than commendable. If you remember him and the younger brother Shakarada I interviewed last week, in a sense, you're looking at the next generation, those who are carrying traditions forward. Okay, so it's very important that each of these brothers get their due. This is perfect. You see, now you're moving. Fantastic. We can see you. Yeah. Thank you, Red Star. We know, but there won't be any more interference this time. You'll notice. As you can see, he's changed the phone somewhat, so we're now not getting the lag anymore. Yeah. So we're sorting it out. We're sorting it out. Yeah. So family, also do remember all this effort and time on the path of what he's doing and we're doing, it does require some effort. So again, no obligation. Device is not connected. Hold on, it's coming.
So now connected.
Okay, yeah. So I'll add that one and take this out. Perfect. There you go. Beautiful. So family, we can hear you clearly. Sena, can you kindly introduce yourself to the audience once again? Give us that intro. You're live, Sena. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
So we can continue on this one.
Yes, it's clear. It's nice. Your movement is perfect. Please introduce yourself. Yes, you're welcome, Exceptional Lives. I told you we'll get it to work. It was working already. Not to worry. Today we iron out all the kinks and we go deep. Yeah. So everybody, make sure you're ready. I have your degree certificate for you after this show because this young brother is gonna take you far. Sena, please introduce yourself again to us.
Speaker. Ask to bring speaker. Hello, my name is Sena Voncujovi. I am the founder of Revodution Vodou Education, which is a digital initiative to try and demystify and preserve Vodou from the perspective of practitioners. And the reason why we started this was that, I come from a family of traditional healers. My father is a healer. My great-grandfather was a healer. And we found that the image that you see of traditional African spirituality is very much created by non-practitioners. So you have colonial masters, you have Christians, Muslims, so everybody but the practitioner having some opinion of what the practice is, and very little voice given to actual practitioners. So we wanted to change that by using social media, film and photography to try and share the story of Vodou from the perspective of practitioners. And we've been doing this now for about 5 years, and we must thank Ancestral Voices significantly because you guys have done a great job of promoting our work, making our work reach many more people, and we've collaborated on that. So thank you also for the work that you do. I'm currently in Ghana. I'm in the shrine, my father's shrine, African Magic Temple, which is located in Accra, Ghana.
Excellent.
And yeah, looking forward to speaking with you. Everybody is here now, actually. So, yes.
Beautiful. Well, let's get it started. So then, Sena, you said you're in your father's shrine. Can you give us a bit of context to your father's shrine, please? The name of the shrine
is called African Magic Temple. And what we do here is basically we are a school of Ewe Vodu and spirituality, which has a base in Africa. So African spirituality. We have a lot of practices that we may incorporate from even other parts of the world, but the base still is very African or very Ewe Vodu centric.
Beautiful.
And
beautiful.
In Africa right now for about 25 years or close to 22 years running now. We do initiations for people. We do readings for people. In terms of the spirits that we work with, our patron spirits are Tobe Jopata, Tobe Akain, where I was last week. But we also work with other spirits such as Ifa or Afa. And, various deities that are known within the Ewe pantheon of deities. And we've also had through, our digital initiatives, the ability to kind of share our work with people in the diaspora. So especially this year, we've had a lot of people from the diaspora come to Ghana to get initiated, setting up their destiny, doing readings and protecting their family and things like that. So we do a whole lot of work here, and it's a very fun place. In December, usually 31st of December, we do a crossover kind of ceremony where we invite all members who are of the shrine and people who are just affiliates to come and celebrate, and we cross over into the new year. So we normally broadcast all of it online. So if you ever have a chance or you want to watch what we do here at African Magic Temple and Revolution, please follow our social media pages. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Someone just brother by the name of Terry Blanks just said you look just like his nephew. I said definitely not the nephew. You know, you're half Ghanaian, half Japanese. So I doubt very much you're Teddy's nephew, but that's beautiful in itself. So then, Sena, what I particularly like about where you're coming from is the fact that you also your father has should we say a live African shrine, yes, where he keeps on the tradition that has been passed down to him, right? Can you tell us a bit about what type of impact that has had upon you growing up? Because I grew up in Ghana as well, and if you were to mention any type of, should we say, traditional dealings, people kind of start looking at you funny. How has your experience been growing up as a child of a practicing, and I believe the term is Boko, that's the term for priest in Ewe Vodu, am I correct?
He's a Boko because he's been initiated into Fa. He's a Huno because he's in charge of spirits, or which is known as spirit. So you can say he's a Huno and a Boko. Yes, that's what they'll call him.
Okay.
The question is how has that impacted my life, or what was it like being a child of a priest? I think it's had a significant impact on my life. First, in terms of identity, I think being able to know that Africans have been able to develop technology, because this is what I think it is. It's closer to technology than it religion or faith, because they are formulas, right? And to know that Africans several 100,000 years ago developed systems, you know, one could argue similar to the internet, but in a very different dimension.
Okay.
And knowing and living through that, and not just hearing about the story, but actually living it every day and seeing it work every day, and being able to show to us that life, because we are a live shrine here, we are seeing cases, and if the spirits are working or not, we can see.
Yes.
That in terms of identity has made me very proud to come from the continent, and proud to come from the family of healers. Secondly, I think in terms of your worldview, my worldview has very much been impacted by that, in that you definitely look at everything. And then you see life as both spiritual and physical. So any problem that I try and tackle, or anything that I'm going to deal with in my life, I will, look at it from these angles. So I think that's worldview is very, very much influenced by, I'm also an initiate, but I'm more or less of a
Sena, if I can just
priest.
stop you, Sena, stop 1 second. Can you come a little bit to maybe towards the camera, because we can hear you, but you still sound a bit further away. So if you can kindly, I know you were asking for a speaker, so yeah, not where you're doing fine, but I would just like your voice amplified a bit, if you don't mind, please. Yes.
Papa, the mic.
Family, as you can see, Sena is just trying to make sure you can hear him as clearly as possible. Okay, so this call is going on ahead, and no, we can't hear you now. You see, you've sat back, so you're far away from the mic.
You can't hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yes. Is there any way of keeping that same level there?
Yeah, I can keep it like this.
Yes, fantastic. So let's just go back. You were now telling us about your own initiations. So can you continue from there for us, please?
Yeah. So I was saying it's impacted the way I look at life, because everything I deal with from a both spiritual and a physical level. And now, I've been initiated, but I'm less of a practicing priest in that I'm doing consultations for people, right? But I do, some work for people on a case-by-case basis sometimes. and I'm able to use tools in my own life, I would say, and to guide me. And any problem that you tackle, for example, very practically, you ask Afa, Afa will tell you what exactly is going to happen to you this week or next week, what the problem, how you solve it, your weakness, your strength, all of that, you'll be able to know. So I'm here in Ghana mainly because of that. But I'm now supposed to move to China. But before I go to China, I need to, prepare a few things.
Yes. Yes. Now, beautiful, Sena. Sena, do bear with us. I know this must be a bit stressful for you, but we'll make it work, yeah. As somebody, you see, look, Alana just came to give you one of the best compliments so far. She said the information to be shared is going to be phenomenal and invaluable. Yes. Laurie now says the video is so much better than last week. Thank you. So you're having the impact desired. So just bear with us. Yeah, we're getting there. So now, Sena, your Jew heritage. Can you tell us a bit about that? Because your dual heritage.
So my father Ghanaian, and my mother is Japanese. I was born in Japan, but I was raised for the most part in Ghana.
Fantastic.
Until I was about 16, and then I moved to study abroad, and I went to Costa Rica first, and then the US, and after the US, I moved to Japan for 3 years to work. But my spiritual practice followed me everywhere I move. I have a bag of about 25 kilos, just Vodou.
Wow, so, that you carry around.
For anybody who thinks that Vodou cannot travel or it doesn't move across the river or the sea. Yeah, and for the past 9 years, I've been moving. It's like a moving shrine.
Okay. No, that's beautiful. So, one of the first teachings you've given us already is that, your shrine, or even the smaller version that we call the altar, is capable of traveling distances. And obviously, one of the clear ways we know this is possible is because, for instance, we see, the continuum of Haitian Vodou, which as much as comes from the Fon in Benin or Dahomey, we also know it has connections to Ewe Vodu.
Yes, it does.
It
does, absolutely.
So yeah, thank you for that first learning. We can travel with our shrine. Now, Sena, you mentioned about your dual Japanese heritage, right? So then, you're familiar with Shinto?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you wanna tell us a bit about Shinto and perhaps where you see that intersection point between, say, Shinto and some of what we know?
Shinto basically means the way of gods.
Okay.
And it's an ancient practice that's been there for several centuries, since the beginning of the Japanese kingdom or empire or country or whatever you want to call it. And it believes in the idea that there is God in nature, so God in the trees and the rivers. And it also has this belief to extent on ancestral reverence, but more on this idea of belief in nature-based deities. In Japan, there are two big religious practices, I guess, that kind of work hand in hand, and that's Buddhism and Shinto. And so Buddhism kind of deals with the dead, so that's where the ancestral reverence practice comes from. And then Shinto is the nature-based deities. And you go to Japan, all of, and even today, you see a lot of shrines. You can go there anytime. They're very respected. Now people are more just culturally spiritual, if you may. But it is very similar to Vodou in that before you go to a shrine, you have to cleanse. Before you go and make a pledge. You ask for a task to be given to you, and actually companies actually do that. They are part of their official budget is to send to the shrine, and they'll go and pray for them.
But a lot of the companies, I want to repeat that again. Please stop there. A lot of companies actually put in their budget a portion of their operational funding to just be given to shrines, for the shrines to also what? Pray for them. Is that what you said, Sen? I don't want to misquote you.
It's huge. It's huge. There are shrines that are completely just supported by private companies or individuals.
Wow.
Go to the shrine called Fushimi Inari in Kyoto, which is the oldest capital of Japan. You literally see it where they're just, every time somebody makes like a amount of donation, so let's say like 10,000 US, they'll make a little gate for you, and they'll write your name and your company, and they'll put it in the shrine. If you go to the shrine, you see literally thousands of gates that all people have paid money. So that's what supports the place. And sometimes in some Buddhist temples, they have very highly educated people who come together. They build hospitals, they build hospitals in the name of the temple. But they're all like doctors and stuff. So that's it's very modern, I would say.
Right. We're fleshing a lot out, and work with me here. Now I'm gonna ask what might seem like a redundant question. How many Ghanaian companies send funding every year to the African Magic Temple to assist in its operation and in their operation? How many Ghanaian companies do that?
People don't do that in their official capacity as something, but they do so in their private capacity,
right,
as the head of it or something. So, I don't know, but quite a number of people will come.
Yes.
But 10 to 20, I would say, yeah.
Yes. But what strikes me?
It's not Ghanaian companies alone. I think.
Oh, okay.
Now, with the internet has changed. The internet has changed the way we do our work, and we found it's been able to effectively do the work even through. So, for example, we've discovered that we are able to do virtual readings of Ifa as long as we take the person's voice and then we put it on certain things that the person speaks on it, and then when they do the read, the thing falls according to how it should. And so that has revolutionized we can do and the people that we can kind of work for.
Fantastic.
But there are things that cannot be done remotely, but some things can be done remotely, I guess.
Okay. Now that's a very interesting explanation. Not to worry, Sena, your voice is coming through clearly. As you can see, what Royalty Able has told everyone listening is that if they use headphones, they can hear you very clearly. So for everyone listening, if I can just direct you to that, please put your headphones in and it will be much clearer than you can. I can hear him clearly, but then obviously I'm in direct contact with him. So for those of you who can't hear, maybe as clear as, please, let's follow Royalty's advice. Plug in your headphones and you'll be able to hear him clearly. So now, Sena, give me 1 second. Let me show you something. You see, the reason why I was asking you about Japan and Shinto especially, and you blew it up with your explanation that at an institutional level, there are actually companies who donate to these shrines so that they form a kind of symbiotic relationship where each help each other. To me, that's totally revolutionary. And the next thing that you've mentioned, and this is what we're going to get deeper into in a second. And family, I don't know if you heard, the brother Sena was telling us how even with the electronics, it's also changed some of the ways that they work, whereby they can actually take someone's voice, which has been recorded on a phone, and then use it to effect the actions required. This is a form of energetic transference. This is a transfer of energy, even in a digital format. Yeah. You remember the brother also told us at the beginning, for him, Vodou is like technology. It's like the African internet, because we can effect causes over distance. Yeah. So I just want us to bring back those, should we say, gems in what he's saying already. Okay, if Wachiriwa is asking you, Sena, if you can use headphones, because if you use headphones, she thinks your audio will come in much clearer. I think so. If you have one, do that. So while if you're sorting that out or doing that, let me also show this to the audience.
Unfortunately, my battery is not strong. So if I use headphones, the phone can die. That's why I want to be here and try and speak.
No problem. What you
loudly,
can do is, if you can, because Christopher came in as well. So if you want, you can always put Christopher in the studio instead and flip over if you want. So have a think of that. But while you were doing that, you see, before we did Ancestral Voices, or the year when I went to record Ancestral Voices, we started in Ghana, right? I created this photo book. Okay. Now in this photo book called Reflections of Ghana, is online for anyone that might be interested to check it out. I will turn to this page. Right now, this page is called Evolving with Tradition. Okay. Because in what happened to me is when I visited Japan, I can't even remember how long ago this was. And as you can see, the title starts, it says Evolving with Tradition. I'm going to read it to the audience while you saw that out. It says, in Tokyo, I saw an amazing complement of traditions, shrines next to modernist architecture, suited business persons and tourists engaging in rituals with no shame, no stigma of being backward or regressive. Belief systems divorced from notions of being progressive. Because there was a shrine, I remember, I've forgotten the place I was in. I think it was either, is it Ginza or one of the, it was like basically the business capital or rather the business center. It's where the Sony building is in Tokyo. And I was there as a tourist. Sorry? Go on. Yes, and what are you saying?
I see their shrine where see any corner they are there.
Yes. But then you know what surprised me the most was when I was in one of them, I saw this guy in a suit. This was in the afternoon. So clearly the man was on a break. Full-blown suit, nice, lovely leather bag. Then this guy walks into the shrine. So I'm thinking, okay, well, he looks Western, but why is this guy coming here? Because I guess the shrine is supposed to be the old culture. The man put his bag down, knock a gong, light an incense, starts bowing down.
Japan, I guess people don't.
Say that again.
And most people, if they're going like to the shrine, their official capacity to go and get some sort of luck for the company, they will go in suits.
Okay. Okay.
There's no contradiction there. I feel like it's, this contradiction of tradition and progress. It's really just a European-centric way of looking at the world. The majority of the world doesn't look at the world that way. The majority of the world is in Asia. They're in China. They're in India. They're in all these non-Western places. And for them, nature-based spirit worship, nature-based ancestral worship has always been the norm. But unfortunately, due to colonization and our own current colonization, it's been difficult for Africans to divorce the idea of progress and spirituality, and they correlate the two with each other when they really have no correlation.
Fantastic explanation there. Fantastic explanation. So Sena, we're now going to move a bit deeper in. Do you want to change your phone now, or should we go ahead? Because at this point, though, you're gonna have to be as clear as possible. Everything you've said so far is already fire, but we haven't even got into the meat of the conversation. So let me give you the option. Would you like to use Christopher's phone now while we go in? Because your current phone, because of the battery, it goes in and out. When it's in, it's very clear. And then when it's not, it goes a bit beep, 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 So do you want to do that now?
He's not here now. He's gone
Oh,
inside.
Okay,
So
all right
if
then.
we can use this one,
Yes.
I'll prefer that. But if
Okay.
it's really, I have to ask.
Yeah, no, it's manageable now. It's manageable. But I'm not going to ask you my serious questions just yet. Actually, what I'll do is I'll throw it to the audience. If anyone has a question, you can put it in there now. While I wait, because I have four very key. Say that
I
again.
understand why. What is the problem? You can't hear me?
I can hear you most of the time, but then you dip out. So sometimes you'll be talking and then it just goes silent and then it comes back again. You see, and there's a lag, there's a delay. Don't worry. Let's just go ahead with it. It's okay. Let's go ahead with it. You see, you're looking worried. I don't want you to be worried. Don't worry. Let's go. So, Sena, I like the last point that you made. As you said that in Asia, they haven't correlated progress with the fact of keeping your ancestral traditions, right? In what other ways has having this dual heritage and being able to experience different cultures, which are also nature-based, how has it shaped your outlook on spirituality?
I think it shows that there's a more common reality to the world, that if we do believe that nature is God and God is nature, then it's not play, and it's not like one group of people not have monopoly over it. And that's why come to land, there is a God and there's a spirit. And if you go to Japan, there's a God and there's a spirit. And you probably go to any other part in the world, and at some point there was some God and some spirit there. And when you are raised on the continent, it's very difficult for you to have this view of that, the African spirituality actually has value, because all the literature, all the information, all what you'll be hearing in the classroom to anywhere is negative.
Yeah.
But being able to step out of cultural context and go to different parts of the world and see that, you realize that really that is just a completely misfounded belief. And once you've seen it, you can really stand on and tell them that, hey, what you are saying doesn't make sense. And if you haven't had that exposure and somebody's criticizing you, telling you, for example, if you had all these spirits, then why was Africa colonized? Why is Africa still poor? Right? Again, making this argument of equating, economic and national development to spirituality, which in my view is a very nonsensical argument. That's unavoidable.
Yeah.
And so that has made me more open-minded to think that there's knowledge everywhere.
And
it's made me respect other spiritual traditions. Anyway, from Christianity or Islam or Buddha or whatever, it is part of nature and deserves to be respected. And I think more people should have that kind of view.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Sena, listen, work with me, work with me, because look on the screen now. You see what's already happening? Yeah, and this is why I was telling you that I'm not even really trying to go too deep yet. We've not even scratched the surface. Yeah, so this is not me making up stuff to perhaps maybe pander to your ego or your sense of thing. I know where I'm taking this interview, and I know what you do, and I read and follow what you do, so I know where we're going to go. That's why I don't want them to necessarily miss anything. By the way, what's that you're eating? You're making me hungry right now, man. You haven't offered me any other food, Sena. What's going on?
Sorry, I haven't eaten dinner and I'm so hungry. So if I don't eat,
not to worry. Come on, man. Kelewele. Hey, okay. So for our people in the audience, Kelewele is basically, I know our Caribbean family is going to to be really upset that I'm actually stating the word in the way it's supposed to be pronounced. But he's having some ripe plantain, plantain that is soaked in a lot of chili, so it's very hot, but it's delicious, man. This guy is now taking me back to my childhood. That's so bad. Anyway, so Sena, take a couple more, should we say mouthfuls, because the next question here, we're now going to start diving deep. Yeah? Are you ready? You ready for the dive? Sena, yeah, okay, good. So Sena, we're here for Ewe Vodu. Yeah? Can you give us a bit of a breakdown? Because I know we're not dealing with a religion here. So there's always flexibility for, if you want to call it, personal knowledge. And also it opens itself to practices that can inform it. Okay? Wow. So look at you, Sena. Look, before I even go there, this is wonderful. Sena, you are sharing some great information. I am thankful for my ancestors to lead me here tonight. Hey, to see Dio, you haven't seen anything yet, we haven't even started. So you just wait. Stay there. We're not gonna get into it. Sena, give me as best as you can, should we say, a structure to Ewe Vodu. Who's sitting at the top, and how does it filter, should we say, all across society for practitioners?
Break down of the Ewe, the Vodu worldview. So in the Ewe Vodu worldview, they are the three kind of Mao Sogbolisa, Mao Kitikata, Mao Esse, God the creator, God the one that makes the creation sustain itself, and then the God that has the ability to destroy, which also has the ability to create. These gods, they are high. They are so high that you don't directly deal with them. And so there are spirits within the world that are under them. So if you were to liken it to the Judeo-Christians, you could say like angels. So in the Vodou practice, you communicate or leverage power of this Trinity via using other spirits and deities. Another main tenet of Vodou is a belief says that every body has a bloodline, comes from somewhere, and your DNA belongs to your ancestors, and so they can effect change in your life. You sacrifice to them and maintain that relationship, because the belief is that they are not really dead. They've just migrated into a different dimension or a different plane. So you have ancestors, then you have nature-based deities. All of to say that it is believed that the physical world and the spiritual world intertwined and interdependent. And so the Ewe is the duality of the world.
Yes.
Ewe names represent the fact that God or spirit is very much a part of their life. So for example, my name, Sena Mawese, God of destiny, has given Sena.
Okay.
And there are lots of Ewe names with Se, Selinam, Se.
Yeah.
All names are different kind of spirits. A lot of Ewe names are based on spirit. That the spirit did some life and that person, and so that became the person's family name. So there are a lot of people like that.
Fantastic. So I like that.
People, their name is Awuno. Or Amegashi. Those people, they are coming from originally spiritual.
Okay. So I'm gonna reiterate that also for the family. what Sena effectively was explaining the connection between particular Ewe names that are directly connected to the three essential creators. So you know what, and for me this is also new and important learning. Sena mentioned three beings of creation. Yeah, so you know here we have another story of another Trinity. Eh? It didn't start somewhere in the Council of Nicaea. As we can tell, that the Eves have been around even before that council got around to it. And what I particularly like about what Sena is described of these three gods of creation, which is their supreme deity, is that the supreme deity already exists as a Trinity. And what is fascinating about what he said is that there's one that's for creation, and then there's also one for destruction. So we can see a balance in there, yeah? And the third one, Sena, you said, what's the third one's name and what is its function?
Maues, God of destiny. Very important in the Ewe practice and even Ewe philosophy, because it's the belief that everybody who is born has a destiny that existed before their birth.
Right.
And that destiny, or that soul, if you may, chose the path, the good and the path that you would face before you come into the world. So the Ewe believe that to work your destiny, especially your positive destinies, so that it is able to bring positive things in your life. And so there are a lot of Ewe names that are attributed to Se. Actually, so Sena, Senam, Senyu, Sedem, Selina.
I'm typing it as you speak. Carry on.
All of this, if you hear an Ewe name starting with Se, is referring to that. The truth is, unfortunately, people have a lot of people have the names and they don't even know that the name is spiritual roots, because now it's a cultural thing. So it's just like, what is the Ewe name?
Yes.
But the real root of it is that they are referring and they are making reference to these traditional deities or traditional Trinity.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful, Sena. Thank you very much. So, family, I'm going to repeat, and I'll direct you all to also look in the comments, because there are particular things. Remember, I told you at the beginning, this is going to be a kind of university level, straight ready type of information that the brother is sharing. So the first, the one of the Trinity of creation gods or creation beings is Mau Ese, as Sena has just told us. And this particular aspect of the Trinity deals with your destiny. Yeah, so as you can see his name, you see the first two letters, Sena. His name refers back to this part of the Trinity. Yeah, so that's one fire one day again. Sena, tell me about the other deity as well, please. I'll be typing into the comments. So the first one, the one of creation, is
Mau Sogbolisa.
Mau Sogbo.
Mau
Please,
Sogbolisa.
Sogbolisa. Do forgive me if I make any spelling errors, brothers and sisters, but yes.
Mau
Say that one again, please.
Mau Sogbolisa. Mau Kitikata.
Oh, Kitikata. And Kitikata is the one for distraction, yes? Family, we all have to be grateful to Sena, you know. The brother hasn't had anything, and he's here. So please, bear with him. Go on, Sena. Mau Kitikata. And that one is the one.
Is the one that is destroyer. And Kitikata is the sustainer. And so, which one?
Oh, okay. Say that again, because you know you dip in and out. So I'm just trying to follow. Kitikata is the one for.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Sena.
So, creator of human, Kitika destroyer. So Bol is a creator.
Okay, yes. All right. So I got them right. I got them right. Now I'll repeat it for the audience. So in the Trinity of the Ewe Vodu, yeah, the Trinity God, if you will, the ultimate being is composed of three aspects, if you will. Yeah. Sena has told us the first one is Mau, bear with me, Mau Ese, which is your God of destiny. Yeah. And then we have Mau Sogbolisa, which is that of creation, and Mau Kitikata, which is the one of destruction. Am I correct, Sena? Oh yeah, I think Sena's battery. Hold on, family. He has another phone handy. Let's give him a chance to change. We're getting real deep into the knowledge. As I said, this show is going to be monumental. Let's make it happen. So, Sena, are my three descriptions correct? Because I don't want to misquote you. We have Mau Ese, which is the god of creation. Mau Sogbolisa, which is, Mau Ese is the creator of destiny. Then we have Mau Sogbolisa, which is that of creation. And then we have Mau Kitikata, which is of destruction. Is that correct?
Also, Bol is the destroyer.
Yes, Kitikata is the destroyer. That's right. So, Teddy is asking us a question. Are you saying that there is a triad of gods in Ewe Vodu? Yes, Teddy. That's exactly what he's saying. And I've typed all those three gods in the most supreme is.
But in practice, the one that people deal with, like the work is Ese. The Sogbolisa and Kitikata, they are high thing. You don't directly deal with them. You pray to them and you involve them and you may invoke them before any prayer. You are not going to be. They are not things that you can make, but Ese you can make Ese.
Right. And we're about to get to Ese. We're about to get to Ese. So firstly, let me check. How is your stomach? Did the Kelewele hit the spot? Are you okay now? Sena? Yeah, you're okay now. Don't worry, feel free, Don't worry, feel free. I think we can all appreciate that you've forsaken your dinner to sit down and talk to us. So yeah, we appreciate that effort. Don't worry, Kra. Charlie, if you need to eat, just keep eating, man. No problem. It's not a competition, yeah? Nobody's marking anything here. You want chop, my friend, chop. I see you're drinking some cool water too. So, is your test gone? Belly slightly full. Should we move in some more? Okay, good. So, Sena, you telling us about Mau Ese being the god of destiny brings me very neatly to the next phase of Ewe Vodu that I want to ask you about. Because that concept of divine destiny in all African spiritual traditions, that human beings are not born just because, their parents were feeling a bit happy one evening and then the child came. Yeah. But rather, that child has come because they have a purpose. They have a reason to be here. Right? You've already even taken us to your Mau essay already. So that's already a big introduction. Can you explain to us how the concept of your divine destiny works in Ewe Vodu? Because there's some interesting things going on there that I haven't seen in many of the other traditions that I've had the honor to research. Over to you.
As I mentioned earlier, the Ewe view, destiny, something that before you are even born. So before somebody says there, it's your soul. It's like your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you into this world, you know your destiny chooses your path. That this person
Mm-hmm.
will come into this world. This will be the positive things you do. Really who you are, a person, your flaws and your these things. They ever believe that you chose that before you come into this world,
Mm-hmm.
right? What
Mm-hmm.
work to do. And so when you are born, as you are born, is again you when you first come as a baby, you've forgotten what you
Mm-hmm.
planned in the in before you came. And so through spiritual practice and as you in your life, then you will be able to find and get the purpose of your destiny to work in the very simple way of looking at it, right? So it's a belief that everybody has a purpose, everybody has a mission, everybody has that which will make them successful, and also everybody
Mm-hmm.
has that which will make them not successful, right?
Okay.
So to give in very simple terms, people who are alcoholics,
Mm-hmm.
who they drank and they went to murder somebody, that one too is in their destiny. And according to the Ewe, they'll say your destiny chose that for you, right? So maybe
Right.
he's good in
Yes.
something else, but
Mm-hmm.
the negative part of the alcohol has overcome him, right?
Yes.
So whatever happens to you, you chose before you came here. And through ritual,
Mm-hmm.
through practice and reading and divination and initiation, you are able to achieve your highest purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Another concept is this. I was, as I mentioned, this concept of negative, because you choose all the negative things. There's possibility that your negative destiny will be disturbing you and be bringing problems in your life. And when your negative destiny, the force of that negative destiny, stronger than the positive destiny, that's when people encounter problems, according to the Ewe worldview. And if your positive destiny is
Mm-hmm.
stronger than your negative destiny, then you have positive things. So there are rituals that Ewe do to remove the negative destiny, or it's not like you remove it. You can't completely remove it from your life, but you are trying to reduce its impact in your life so that it doesn't cause you problems to the point where you can't achieve that positivity that you are destined to achieve. Rituals
Mm-hmm.
are done in a to reinforce that person's positive, and I've seen it done for people. I've seen that for myself, and I definitely think very powerful ritual that people should do if you have the
Absolutely.
opportunity to.
Absolutely. I'm gonna come back to that again as well, Sena. But Sena, as I said, please, yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing, brother. Look on the screen for yourself, yeah, and read for yourself. Okay. As I said, very, very, we're all extremely grateful here. You know what I mean? Brother has left out his dinner, come to sit down just to feed information, yeah. And it's not just him. Please look everywhere. It's coming from everywhere. Yeah. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah. We've had a lot of challenging bits, but let's do what we can. Yeah. Because once we have this channel, remember, I would love to have you come again, and then we will be going into. There's so many areas that I want to go into with you. So yeah, don't worry. Yeah. Let's just take this as the first. I really, really appreciate you, and I know everyone else is. Now, you see, look at what the other thing that's also happening. Learning, as they say, is a two-way street. Look at what the minute you mentioned Mau Kitikata. Look what the learning that we're also being brought. So in Soto, South Africa, they say go kata means it is to destroy. Imagine that, all the way in South Africa, just that one word. Now let me go down and show you another thing here. This is where research becomes such a wonderful thing, because you will be surprised how interconnected we are. Now look here. Kiti kata in Lingala. Kata means to cut. Don't you find that interesting?
Means to
Look at
cut.
that. Yeah. And here we are talking about a place they've called Ghana. But Lingala, a totally different part of Africa. You just had to mention one word, and all of a sudden, people are remembering things. Okay, so work with us. We will go as far as we can. So now, Sena, the destiny aspect, because most cases we find the destiny being one dimension, being you have that dimension to achieve. And just for the audience who may not have heard clearly, I'll just repeat some of the aspects that Sena mentioned. That in the Ewe tradition, it's not just one positive destiny. You know, you came and you're going to be Superman, but then Superman also comes with his kryptonite, as an analogy. So you have a positive destiny and a negative destiny. Is this correct, Sena? Right. And for both, you can do particular rituals to either should we say manage. Go on.
Everybody in the world is like it's two. Everything in this world is, it has that duality. You have your positive sides and your good sides. You have your strengths, your weaknesses. There's day, there's night, there's man, there's woman. So in our life too, always those two things that we have. We have past, we have future. So that duality is what's represented in the essay and the Sevoin, which the negative destiny is called Sevoin. And somebody, I saw somebody asking, how do you know if you follow your life, what you want to achieve, and things, and whether it's influencing you? You see, are you a successful person? Are you not a successful person? Are you happy in your life? The things you won't get, are you able to achieve them? And they'll show you if your destiny is strong or is not strong.
Fantastic. There you go. So, and people are just echoing your comments.
You know? Yourself, you should see it.
Right. I'll repeat what Sena just said, family. He said it's a practical thing. So you yourself should see it. And I guess the measure of that is by the way your life is going. Are you happy in your life? Are things going the way that you want it to? So, Sena, you're saying these are some of the things that we can use to test for ourselves if we're following our positive destiny or our negative destiny, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is
and
beautiful.
It's not like, let's say, you must become rich or you need to be a billionaire, something like that. It's about you have progress in your life. You are just moving for the better. So
yes.
Where you before and where you want to get to, do you have that clear path and the people to help you? And if you are making that new progress, right? So if somebody started, let's say you're a rich man and you start 90, then your destiny takes you to 100. You just increase 10. But if somebody started at, let's say, 10, and then they move down to like 60, yes, the person is quantitatively less than that, but in terms of his progress, he has made much more progress, and his destiny is working for him much more because he's making that progress. Whereas you are somebody who was already born in silver or gold, yet no progress is happening. Where you want to get to, you can't get there, and you're not able to find the steps and see the way. You have no purpose in your life, and you're just living life like that. Anything can take you and die anytime. Nothing, you are not stable.
No, beautiful. Sena, I believe before I even asked the question, Olivier had already asked this question and you've already answered it. So not to worry. He said, this is beautiful. How do you know when you follow your bad destiny? You've just answered that already. So yeah, we're answering the questions ahead of even seeing them. That's beautiful. Aliana Jackson also said, what's being shared is so much like the Ifa tradition and speaks to the commonality of the world traditions. So family, at this juncture, what I'm going to say is, because, you know, I've mentioned already, there's a lot of questions that I want to get into with Sena, but at this, there's some that I'm going to wait when he gets back to his studying, because the young brother is studying, you know. And there's some questions I want to ask him even about his degree that, in my opinion, relates back to the nature-based work that he does. So we've lost Sena for the minute. Hopefully he's about to get on his battery. Such a shame. The battery is gone. So family, what we'll do, I know he's gonna come back because his dad, there's the device coming back again. It's coming back. What I'll ask you to do, please, family, it's not an obligation, but do donate what you can. Yeah, the brother, as you can see, is still a student. He's also working his way through life. No obligation, but please do. These donations and contributions help us to continue our work. Yes, Sena. I know. Glad to have you back. Not to worry. Say again.
Someone was asking.
Sena, say what you said again. Oh, no. They were just telling you that everything you're describing. Yeah, they were just saying that everything you described about the Ewe tradition reminds them of Ifa. That's all they were saying. They weren't asking a question. Don't worry, you're doing well, you know.
People are like cousins.
Good. Go on. Speak on it.
Yeah, like cousins.
Okay.
We have a very similar, even language root, and cultural root and spiritual roots that are very similar. So if in our part of Ghana or the Ewe land is Afa, and the Majis are the same, just that pronounced a little differently, and the sacrifices are not the same.
Yes.
The Yoruba people and
Oh man, not to worry, we're getting there. You're a fighter, just like me. We'll keep fighting. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. Wow. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do, right, Sena? We have look at that. HPK Shamaness. Sena, we have a $10 donation. Give thanks, HPK Shamaness. We appreciate that. You know, you can tell this brother is doing the work, you know. Go ahead, Sena. Go on. What were you saying?
I said thank you. That's really nice.
Oh, wow. Look at that. The guy is so humble as well, you know.
I was saying thank you for the donation. That's nice.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, listen, man, you put in a lot of work for something that most people tend to disregard all the time. You know, you don't have to explain to me because I've experienced that for close to 8 years. So yeah, not a big deal, but we can see where people are going. So let me pick a few of the comments. What I'll do, Sen, I'll ask you one more question. There's a question I was going to ask you, particularly on what you were studying or what you are studying at the moment, and how it relates back to nature-based healing and whatnot. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll save that for a program in the new year. You know, I think you might be in China or Japan then, but we'll make something happen then as well. So I'm going to ask you one final question because it's now 9:17. Then I'm going to leave it open for those who want to ask questions as well. Yeah. And then we can take it from there. So let's look at a few of the comments. I'll read a few because you've inspired a lot of people today, you know. Let me just read it so you see for yourself. Kishenua says Mawu Mahu is a goddess in Benin Vodou who is married to Lisa. Yeah. As you were talking about your okay, so this is actually interesting. This is from Exceptional Lives, and he says you have swords in Asia called katana, you know, and then this is all from you telling them about Mau Kitikata. Yeah, all of a sudden we started drawing. Yeah, people are now sharing every word you're seeing, all of these connections in the sound. Yeah, so don't think that your evening has been, oh God, I didn't eat, I'm sitting here, I've been talking for an hour. No. You're having a significant impact, brother. Yeah, please take heart. Yeah, so let me see. This is King Muta. He says, I'm glad to know that actually our names have connections with our destiny. It's upon us to live and discover the correct path to our mission on earth. And we again, as I said, we haven't even managed to dwell as deeply as we can.
I agree.
Yeah. And this came from you, not me.
Absolutely,
you.
It does.
Yeah. So look, Exceptional Lives, thank you too. Exceptional Lives, Sena. We have a £10 donation that has come in for you. Thank you very much, Sena. We appreciate you. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, look, yeah. Well, you see, and we've barely gone deep. If we had everything as we wanted, believe you me, man, this show would be over the mountain. DK Ogbona has also come to contribute to extra what you said. He says Olisa or Olisa in Igbo means the creator. So look at how you're inspiring others now to make connections. Yeah, you see? Okay. So now let's speak to our Ewe sister in the house. She says, any Ewe in the house? I'm grateful for this, and as my family has become religious, so it has been difficult getting information from them, as they now say it's evil. Yeah,
that's their sad reality, especially here on the ground in Ghana. You say anything about tradition, people see you as negative. You know, I went to school here. I went to a Christian school because all the good schools in Ghana are Christian schools. I sang
you and me,
the Lord's Prayer, the hymns every morning. Teachers to you, devil worshiper. Even some girls, they don't want to date you if you are doing traditional.
Okay. Well, well, it's their loss, you know. You can leave them to it. They don't know what they're missing out on, so that's their problem, you know. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Okay. So let me see. Terry says you've also the triad you mentioned reminds him of Hinduism, where you have Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu together. That's an interesting correlation there, actually. I like that. Let's see. Kesheniwa, this I can actually answer for you. She's saying, who's the Asian mother in Ewe? Is there the notion of the Asian mother in Ewe? Because Nana Buruku is she's in the western region. She's a massive kind of boulder.
I want to say the name. There's
Go ahead.
no ancient mother that I am aware of.
Mm-hmm.
We have a concept of what we call our mothers, which people call Ajay, or what people now say witchcraft or witch. But it's not Nana Buruku. We have never dealt with Nana Buruku.
No, because Nana Buruku is actually Anakan energy. Yeah, not to worry. You know what's interesting, Sena? Ajay or the mothers is also in Yoruba Ifa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ajay is also, and it means exactly the same thing, the mothers. Yes. Beautiful. Yeah, so I've learned now that Ajay is also in Ewe Vodu as well. Okay. Hey, Sena, I think someone wants to take you back to Japan.
Everywhere.
Which one?
Hey.
Which one?
They are everywhere.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a bit about the Ajay? Please, just give us some.
Talking about. It's night time. I don't want to talk too much about them.
Okay. Yeah. No, good idea. No problem. But you don't have to. Don't worry.
They are not female alone.
Okay.
It's generally feminine energy, and they.
Sometimes we say even without God and this they are the energy.
So my dad is adding that in Ewe land we say that they are energy. We say that they are the back of God, or at the back of God, Mau, because their level is that high level that they are right at the back of God.
Wow.
How that manifests in our life actually, practice is that they can bring positivity to your life, but they can also bring a lot of chaos. Their station in the negative manifestation is very, very destructive. And they can also help a person, their negative manifestation is very negative. That's why people fear them, and that rituals against them or to protect against their negative influence, to appease them, might play in practice. Somebody's fine, and all of a sudden things just start changing. It's like chaos. That one, if they do a reading, they could say that the forces of Ajay are on this person. What are the things that could cause this? It's about envy and jealousy, and people who don't wish well for you. They believe that this negative eye that somebody has for you, it can manifest itself physically or spiritually in your life. So the more you are doing, positive things, or you're there and people are envying you, that at some point can take a toll in your life. And that's why when it takes its toll spiritually in your life, most likely they will say that it is Ajay. And that's why even in their the sign that they use to pick what is Ajay is also synonymous with jealousy. So if people are very jealous of you, which is not natural, at some point everybody has somebody who is very positive, and they even believe that that can actually physically or spiritually affect that person. And so we do rituals to cleanse and to appease, so that we live hand in hand with Ajay, because we cannot destroy them. We live together with them. There's no way you can remove them. So these ideas that you kill witches or you destroy them is really practical.
No,
it's not true. You can't kill them because they are a force of their own, and that's why I'm trying to generalize the concept to, because when people think about some witch in the night flying around, wishing your downfall or doing some rituals, that's really not it. Yes, that is one group of it, but the other group is basically people in your everyday life who may not necessarily look at it positively with you, or I don't look at upon you with positivity. The evil eye, that evil eye, even if that person has nothing to do with spirituality, that evil could affect you negatively, and that force, that manifestation is an Ajay manifestation. So anybody can be influenced by Ajay.
Listen, Sena, that is a very powerful point you've made there. And I'm going to bring and make connections with many of the things you've said from the beginning. So witchcraft is not something that you even necessarily go and do with a traditional person. Sometimes it's people's own negative thinking towards other people. They create that, as we said, that force. Through the force of their own will, they can create negativity into someone's life.
That's the most. And the majority of people, that's what it is. It's not
Yeah, I love that point, because we need to understand
another interesting thing in, for example, when you are reading you can tells where whatever problem you are facing, where is the origin or the source of it. Okay, the cause of whatever is happening to you, where is it? And it's done by random selection. Within that, the cause of, let's say, somebody uses spirits to attack you, Vodou or Joker, and or it is witchcraft. They are different things, so they are not the same. But right now, a lot of people are seeing it the same as like, okay, negative thing happening to me, then it must be witches or somebody is doing something
from the village,
and even within the traditional side. So these blank generalizations about what people come and they don't even do a reading, and then they start telling you
what the problem is
and what rituals they think they need to do. But you can't really know anything if you didn't consult and you didn't ask the spiritual world and say that, okay, this is your problem. You can't just come and say, I believe mother-in-law is doing something to me, so you must do. That's how people think.
I know. You don't have to tell me twice. You'll be surprised the nature of phone calls that we receive on a daily basis. It's like coming to the doctor to say, you know what, doctor, I feel a pain in my side, so I have some form of cancer. Don't bother and check. I've come to you to tell you what's wrong with me. Why didn't you stay home and fix it yourself then, if you already know what the problem is? No, that is beautiful. And I can hear your dad.
Divination is like a diagnosis. You need to first come to get diagnostic test. Then you get the problem.
Sena, are you there? Okay, so this is Terry has asked us.
That's like a diagnostic test. It's a divination. That's what we do divination.
Yeah, it's like a diagnostic test to check what's going on with the system. No, absolutely. We're gonna get into it some more, but I've got to 9:30, so I'm going to leave about 15 minutes, family, for all on the call to ask some questions. While you're preparing those questions, let me ask, put some of the questions that are already here on the screen so we discuss them. But Sena, we're going to come back again, and we're going to go wider and broader. I'll leave the rest of these questions for now, and we will work for something in the new year. But is it possible for Opinion Christopher to step? Yeah, you'll be where?
Yes, he can step. He can.
Yeah, just no. Don't let him sit down. Sit down, Sena. I just want him to come and say hello to the audience. Let him just say hello to the audience. That's all. You sit down. Where's this guy going? Yeah, just tell him to come and say hello. Just tell him to come and say hello. That's all.
He's here.
Yeah, just come and wave. Come and wave and just say hello. That's all. You know?
Hello to everybody.
Hello, so family.
And I'm here listening to you all, and also
beautiful.
And I'm listening to all of you, and also listening to Sena break the standing of Ewe Vodu.
Yes.
To you, community.
Thank you.
If you follow our pages, you can hear him speak every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Ghana time.
Yes, Sena.
On our Ocean and African Magic Temple pages. We're doing this every Sunday for about 2 hours. Any question you want, we answer.
Yes. Opinion Christopher, hopefully we will get you on board maybe soon as well, okay? But I'm going to put a question on the screen. This is for you both. Do you have any books or a home study course that can give you a basic understanding of Ewe Vodu? How can someone get in contact with you? Do you have a website? So Terry, I'm going to put the Facebook links into the chat so you can contact them directly, okay? So on Facebook, I believe you can go to the African Magic Temple and or Revodution Education. Yeah, so Teddy, sorry, my mistake. That's where you can contact the brother Sena and his father Christopher directly. Okay, I don't think Sena, do you guys have a dedicated website, or is it through those social medias that you can be contacted?
Yes, we do. So if you go on our Facebook, you have the link. Is that www.africanmagictemple.net. So those are for people who are interested in kind of spiritual consultation with our shrine and stuff. But if it's just to learn, then I recommend that you follow our Facebook page, African Magic Temple, and then you can ask any questions. And we don't have any books. I can't give you any book recommendations. Is to practice and to get practical experience. With that said, I do see the value of having materials, scholarly materials to assist your learning. Ancestral Voices also has a wonderful book where they do cover Ewe Vodu as well, and touch it. We as Revodution, we've also produced about 6 and we are making daily posts on Facebook about Ewe Vodu practice. So you can use that as a resource and all for free. So please join us.
Okay. Well, Sena, maybe there's a book waiting to be written. We can do a collaboration at some point. Because for me, having that preserved in that form will be equally valuable to me. So yeah, there's opportunity on the table.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. So family, in case you didn't get it, I'll repeat some of what Sena said. If you're interested in a consultation or to get some work done, thank you very much, Exceptional Lives. You also did it. The website to go to is www.africanmagictemple. Basically, just look in the chat. I've put the link there. So, Teddy, the answer to your question, if you want to make direct contact and be it for a consultation or for work done, then go to that link. Well, you've typed in the chat just now, so I know that you can see the link. Just click on that link. But as he said, for those who want to also learn and update their knowledge on their social media sites, which is African Magic Temple and or Revodution Education, they have daily posts that gives you information that will give you a wider learning about Ewe Vodu. Okay, so you have these two sources to go to. So Kinuta, those are the links for you to follow. Okay, Exceptional Lives, thank you very much for posting the link in the chat. I like your dedication, you know. So don't worry, we'll get Sena back in again, and I'll be getting his dad as well, Christopher, to come in at some point. Sena, you have a question from our fellow Ghanaian family, Shaggy Kwashiga. He says, Sena, what's the role of Vodou in development of the African continent, in your opinion? I like these kind of questions, man. Yeah. Over to you, Sena.
The big question.
Yes, just answer as much as you can or want for now.
Firstly,
yes.
I am personally okay. First, I don't think that Vodou should be politicized. And I am personally against using like a state and for example in Ghana to say Vodou becomes like the national religion. I think that doesn't reflect the diversity of, for example, Ghana. So I don't think that Vodou should be at a national level.
Okay.
With that said, the role that I think African spirituality or Vodou can have is to raise the consciousness of African leaders.
Right.
To make to understand that Africa also has value, that they need to be ethical, right? For example, one thing that I think could be institutionalized is the swearing in, you know, because many times Africans tend to tell the truth.
Yeah.
When spiritual forces are involved, and it's just a cultural yes, and I definitely think that could be leveraged, but beyond the individual capacity, I don't think that there's any role that Vodou should play on that institutional and the national level. I think the power of Vodou doesn't come from the communal practice per se, but it's from the individual realizations you get, because when you go and check, it's not come to tell you where your community is coming to go. It's going to tell you what you should do in your own life to be able to achieve that which is your purpose. So I think that the more people have access to this dom, then when they do end in positions of leadership, perhaps they will take a more ethical, a more pan-African approach the world, or in leadership or in politics or in where they would go. So having that African and that consciousness, I think, will significantly benefit Africa, and we really need that. You know, if Africa is developed, you know, about what is it that makes Africa unique, you know, what is it that is distinctly African that can be leveraged to, you know, create development. And when you look at other countries and you look at the case of China now, you know, China is in the past 30 years significantly developed and now is a superpower, and now they're going back within their own culture to find solutions to contemporary problems, whether that is finding the cure for malaria in the 1970s through herbal medicine, or looking at ancient Chinese philosophical systems or whatnot. And so having that base of your indigenous or your cultural knowledge is very important for Africa moving forward, because it's what makes us unique. The philosophical and the intellectual role that I think spirituality can play in African development. But I do not believe that it should be institutionalized and politicized, where it's at a national level, where we're having national shrines and telling people you must do this, because then you lose the real power of it, which is it becomes a religion, and it can definitely be religiousized, and it will lose its power.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a very interesting aspect to have, in the sense that you can kind of force it to fit a box that it shouldn't. But then at the same time, the question then I'll put to you then as well, Sena, is if we do not not that we force it to become a national religion, but if we do not put it into the political sphere, how are we going to prevent some of these by force Christian pastors? Let's just use Ghana as an example. Most of whom can't even read the Bible, even when it's in their own local language, but then create this fear factor of, oh, your grandmother in the village is the one who has been flying to your compound in the middle of the night. Not the fact that you're going to work and not putting effort into your work is why you're not prospering. How do we preserve and protect these traditions?
So I think that is definitely important. It's something that is preserving it and building institutions, systems that will, in that space. What's important, one, is documenting stuff, being able to codify stuff and literally transcribe or write them down, because oral, it needs to be transcribed. Another one, in terms of access, there's a lot of translation. Vodou practice Ewe language, and if you want to know it well, you need to be able to translate that, or have very good Ewe speakers around you. And that often is a challenge for people in the diaspora. And they may get initiated into Afar, but they may not have systems in place to be able to continue their learning abilities. So these are all things that can be addressed institutionally. And I think that we as African Magic Temple will continue to work to build those institutions.
Beautiful.
Create this access, and one key driver of that is technology, right? And just willpower.
No, Sena, absolutely. Because, and I'll give this example. Yeah. So, for instance, in Nigeria, Muslims, I don't know if they still have that law in effect. The government gives funding for some Muslims to go on the pilgrimage to the Hajj in Mecca. In Ghana, the national cathedral that they are building, some of it is coming from governmental funds. So I think to even ask for something as simple as, let's say, the government funding people who are educated in the Western ways.
Traditionalists don't have leverage. We don't have the leverage. We don't have the leverage to demand government.
Right.
Even
right.
Though challenge on the traditionalist part is that, one, we're less than 5% of the Ghanaian population. Two, within 5%, we are not one people. They are people, Ashanti people, but we've been categorized all as one traditional. So politically, it's very difficult for us to leverage the government and come as one voice and say, we expect the government to pay for us.
Okay.
To go, where are you going to pilgrimage? And God will be the main God you will pray to. So that I don't think it makes sense. But
yeah, but it's not impossible.
I'm a believer into do that. So I think that one significant advantage that Africa is the power. It has the human capital, it has the technology, and it has the willpower and that desire to want to connect back to the continent, especially with regards to African spirituality. And I think, we should be able to leverage those resources and those connections and create those pilgrimages. If Israel as a state and a lot of Israeli civil societies and civil organizations create, a return for Americans who have never been there, and they have that, birth dependent, non-governmental institutions that would do that. And I
Exactly.
do believe even today we've had people who are very important because it goes a long way to help people who are on this path doing this work, continue doing what they do in the coming years. And I think the internet is going to really accelerate that.
Yeah. Okay, Sena. So basically, maybe me and you are having this conversation a bit too early, because, as she said, it might be difficult, but difficult doesn't mean impossible. Yeah, and I hear your point clearly. Somebody might say, "But I'm Ga. Why do I need my tradition to be shared in the same space as the Ewe man or the Asante man?" But for me, the key thing is it's not impossible. Meaning, maybe the time isn't just right. The feeling is not there yet. The will might not be not there yet now. It doesn't mean it's not coming though. Yeah. So Sena, what I'll do is I'm going to ask you one last question. By the way, let me push Shaggy Kwashiga's answer up. He says, "Great answer, Sena. Thanks. Keep up the good work. Cheers." Yeah. So he loves your answer as much as I love it.
Shaggy,
Go on.
Powers on revolution. So very
Sorry?
nice to see you here as well. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, okay, yeah, beautiful, yeah. No, Shaggy is one of the Ghanaians who's trying to push forth an awakening, so Ghanaians can also have a better understanding and appreciation of those who've done works for them. Now, Sena, I'm going to ask you this question because Terry is keen. So I'll first put his first question to you. To be honest, I'm not even sure who this being is, but let me ask you anyway. He says, "Sena, are you familiar with Amaterasu or Amaterasu? You familiar with this? Yeah?
Amaterasu, the Genesis deity of the Japanese Empire.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So that's why Japan is seen as like the country of the sun.
Is that the old man with the bag over his shoulder?
Yes, and the Japanese bag. So the Japanese.
Okay.
No, it's not the old man with a bag over his shoulder, but that's Japan is considered the children of the sun, and it's because of Amaterasu.
Okay. Yeah. Which one is the old man? The one that brings you abundance. He has a bag full of goodies.
Right.
Sorry.
Or connection, not aware.
Yeah, well, not to worry. It doesn't matter. I should remember his name, but I've forgotten. I just have to go to the museum down the road, and I'll get the name anyway. Okay. So, Terry, Sena has given you his answer, and I hope you're familiar with, or be it is taking you some way to answer the question. I believe he says this is the, I guess, the origin, or should we say the supreme being within the Japanese pantheon. Amaterasu is the source. Jergin, I believe Jergin Mormon Sena, I'll leave that to be your final question because we have gone beyond the time. Jergin is asking if you're familiar with Winti from Suriname.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you familiar with Winti from Suriname? That's the last question I'll put forth for today. You are? Okay, well, I guess that's the question he asked. Are you familiar with Winti? So, yep, he is, Jergen. Winti actually is a derivative of the Akan. It's the Akan system. So you still have names like Motredi and Ponyankopong, not in exactly the same way, but spelled slightly different, you know? So that one is a direct more line from the Akan traditions. Jergen, that's what Winti is from Suriname. Sena, before we go, I will read this last message for you. Emotogan Okrikpa, please do forgive me if I haven't mentioned your name correctly. Yeah, apologies, no malice intended. What Emotogan is saying is, what we need to do is enlighten Africans and let us minimize as much as possible the criminalization of our spirituality. What I will say is there is good in difference. So let us keep the difference and work together. Listen, Sena, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. You've sat with me for close to, well, over 2 hours now, actually. With no dinner, thirsty, and you still stay. That you're a true soldier. Yeah. So I'll close off this show by reminding you that your efforts haven't been in vain. Let's look at what everyone's saying about Sena. Well, grateful to you, Dalian. Sena, thanks for the knowledge. Yeah. Malachi says, dope. You know, you don't have to say too much. You know, they say less is more. Dope. It says it all. Look at that. Tonya says, this is wonderful. So much has been stolen from us. Let me just keep going. And I want you to understand that you are appreciated, yeah? You're definitely appreciated. Somebody asked, if Wachrewa, maybe she'll come and see you soon. Sena, can you do divination on yourself? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look, Emotogan is also saying, thanks for your time. Rayshon, thanks for the information. Anthony Jackson, thanks for sharing. My appreciation. Super. Enlightening. Yeah. Sena, I can scroll on and on and on. But again, as I said, the next part that I'll bring you on, we're going to be talking about what you're learning currently. Because I can kind of know where that might be going. There's so much work that we can all do. Yeah. So also let Openyi Christopher know that whether he's coming willingly or not, I'm going to get him into the studio at some point before this year is over, because I would love to see what we call the transmission.
I'll definitely let him know he's ready.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. Tell him whether he comes willingly or I'll come and pull him. Because what your dad is showing is one of the key concepts within African spirituality, that transmission of information.
I'll let him know.
Yeah. Oh, please let him know. Don't worry. I'm coming, whether he likes to or yes. Yeah, because then we can see how Sena came about, how it is that Sena knows all these things. Where did it come from? Yeah, we have to acknowledge source. So look, listen, Sena. I'll just give you a few more. I don't want your head to get too big. I want to still see your face on the camera. So please hold your head in case it starts expanding. Amagwe says, thank you, Sena. Such inspirational delivery. He's laughing, yes. Listen to Rayshon. Oh, whoa. Yeah. Oh God, I could just keep going on and on and on. But listen, what more can I say? Sena, it's been amazing, and there's even more amazing things to come. I will be catching you in the next year.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and I will be hoping, obviously, to see your dad within the next 2 or 3 weeks before the year is out. But yeah, we have a lot of work to do, yes, Sena. Possibly one being a book at some point. And then also, let's look at the herbs and the healing modalities. Thank you so much. Do you have any closing words for us and the audience, Sena?
I just want to really apologize again for the next time. I'm going to be traveling very soon. So the next time is probably going to be in Japan. Where I should have a connection. Thank you all for joining and taking time to listen to my talking. Thank you.
Pleasure. Family, thank you once again for taking the time out to spend another marathon of a discussion with us. I don't know about you, but listen, man, I have been given some gems today. So let me remind you of some of the poignant points that Sena made. The first was that him reminding us that for him, this knowledge is like technology, and it is a technology. And he says before even the internet was invented, Africans found a way to transfer information from one place to another without having to physically move. That is how he sees his Ewe tradition and that spiritual knowledge and wisdom. Then he also then reminded us of even the ability to use someone's voice as a recording to carry out their readings for them, because something within that vibration still carries an essence of that person. So as a result, is also enough for the African Magic Temple to carry out a reading. What you're seeing now is what you will find in any quantum science textbook, where they'll tell you there's a concept such as energy or energetic transference, the ability to transfer energy, be it between objects or even entities or just beings. Okay. Then the third and solid one that I love is the concept of having two balancing destinies. One which is for the positive outcome in your life versus one which can also try and hold you back, and how you can do particular rituals to temper the influence of either in your life. And then the last takeaway home for me was the fact that he reminded us that the Trinity, it didn't start from the Council of Nicaea. In the Ewe tradition, there are three supreme. The one deity has three aspects. One aspect, the Mau Ese for your destiny. The next being Mau Kitikata. I love that name, you know, even sounds so just so powerful. Yeah. Mau Kitikata, the destroyer. Yes, and then the final one being Mau Sogbolisa, the creator. I hope you found this as educational as I have and as informative as I have. Yeah, Sena will be coming back next year and we'll be expanding the conversation some more. Thank you all very much.